Emi, and this is my co-host, Maj.
Howdy.
Sometimes you need emotional support for your emotional support combat sport, and that's where we've got you covered. Today is May 18th, 2024. It is the 2-year anniversary of Hangman versus Takeshita, the greatest TV match of all time, according to me. We are recording during Collision Rampage Sicko Hours. Maj, how do you feel? How are you? How's it going?
Right now, we're doing pretty well, but pretty much the reason we haven't recorded for a little while is because we weren't doing that well, like the last month.
No. No, no, we weren't. Um, we missed the entirety of the time leading up to Dynasty and then the entirety after
Yep,
because we were both going through some shit.
it was a lot. It was a lot, but we're getting through it and we're getting back on the horse.
Yes. Um, I finished my semester of college with like 4 A's and a B. So I'm pretty proud of myself as much as I hated getting to it. Um, and also my cat died, my oldest cat. So that was really upsetting. It's literally 2 weeks to the day that she passed away and I'm not doing okay still. I'm gonna miss her a lot. I love my kitty a lot. But we persevere and we carry on. And yeah, yeah.
Yeah, um, I've been dealing with pretty much working myself to the bone and dealing with a lot of just emotional turmoil. Um, about just like the direction of my life and me trying very hard to move things in certain directions and nothing's really moving with me. Um, but I did get one good thing. Well, I guess two good things because something we're coming up on Double or Nothing. We're coming up on our Vegas trip, which is very exciting. But I did get a new job finally, which is nice.
Yay!
Um, I've been working on getting a new job since like February, March. Um, I'm extremely thankful it didn't take a year this time. Um, so yeah, we're working through it. We're getting to we're finding lights at ends of tunnels, which is nice.
Absolutely. Yes. Um, this Vegas vacation is going to be very much deserved for both of us, I think.
Absolutely.
Yes. So we're pretty excited. Um, let's get to the wrestling, shall we?
We shall.
Okay. So, we didn't get to talk about Dynasty. So, what we're gonna try to do is kind of talk about some things that we remember, and just give the overall vibes of what Dynasty was like for us. Madge, do you want to go first?
I can go first. So I watched Dynasty late because that was one of the days where it was like working just a lot of not work at my job overtime, work at doing something else. So I didn't watch it the day of. I watched it a couple days later, but it was very exciting. There was a lot that was just going on. It was my favorite match of the night really was Pac versus Kazu, the opener. I thought that was a masterclass in technical wrestling. And it was just honestly, the vibes were very fun. The vibes were very, this is pro wrestling. The vibes were very, this is why I enjoy watching this show. So that was great.
Yes. hmm Um, I want to say for me, the same thing. I got to watch this right as it was turning off live. So I got home about the time that it was finishing. It was a great show to watch on my own, and by on my own, I mean my brother literally sat here, watched the show by himself, and then he went, picked me up from work, and then watched it again with me. I don't know why he did that, but I love it, and I love him for that. Um, but I stayed off my phone, I stayed off social media, I didn't I didn't talk to anyone except for him who was in the room with me. And it helped me to focus a lot on the show, and I think overall it did help me to enjoy it. And I feel like I've said this a million times. I turn off my distractions and all of a sudden the wrestling is great and I'm invested in it. But I do think in general that this was a banger show. Um and the wrestling was really really great pretty much in every single match. Even the ones that had people that I don't really enjoy much, like, I love Cope, but he's not, like, one of my main attractions, not somebody that I enjoy the most, and neither is House of Black right now, so versus Malachi was it Malachi? Or was it Buddy?
I think it man, it was either Buddy or it was Brody. I don't think he had faced Malachi yet then.
Okay. Well, whoever he faced from House of Black, it was still a great match, I thought, which was weird for me because, like, uh I haven't really enjoyed most of his matches or any of their matches at all in the past like 3 or 4 months. So, that was really, really good for me. Like, that's crazy. Like, I couldn't believe how much I liked it. So, just the fact that I enjoyed matches that I didn't expect to like, and then I really enjoyed the matches that I did expect to like, holy shit. It was a lot of fun. So, Dynasty, good card. Very good card. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
Max, how do you feel about our new world champion, our newly
I
crowned?
feel pretty sorry?
Sorry, I said our newly crowned, even though that was like a month ago.
Mm, yeah. I'm rocking with it. I think this was well deserved. I think this was well timed. I think this was pretty much everything that Swerve should be having. Um, I kind of compare people's I really shouldn't do this, but it's me. I compare how I felt about other people winning the title, Hangman,
Mm,
and if I literally the benchmark is did I break down and cry when they won the title? If I didn't, then it was just okay. If I did, it was fantastic. So to me, Swerve winning was just okay, but I recognize that this is very, very important and this is very good for him, very good for the company, and he's a very good choice to be AEW World Champion.
mhm. How do you feel about him being the first Black AEW World Champion?
Oh, I don't think we could have gotten a better choice. I don't think there would have been if this title had gone to Keith Lee or Ricky Starks or somebody else like that, it would not have had this good of an impact on anything. I think Swerve is a complete and total star. So, he's good for us.
Great. Um, I I'm really happy that he's world champion. I know that like in the weeks preceding Dynasty, I was like, but what if Hangman shows up? Which upset a lot of people, by the way. I can't remember when you deleted your Twitter, but people were not happy to hear that from me or others.
I've
Um,
probably that was most likely after I deleted my Twitter because I know I would have gotten an earful of that. Um, but oh, by the way, I don't know if I said this on the pod. I deleted my Twitter not for any bad reason. I just got bored of it.
I think
So I don't have Twitter anymore.
you
I
did.
think I did on the last pod. Yeah, probably.
Um,
But yeah,
yeah,
I would have also enjoyed seeing Hangman, even if he was I would have enjoyed it more if he just showed up at the end of Dynasty. to be the next challenger for Swerve, because I feel like that would have been on top of a huge moment for Swerve winning. That would add a lot of hype to his title reign immediately,
Yeah.
for me, at least.
I think part of it was that they were trying to give, Swerve that special moment of like winning and not having somebody come in and kind of ruin it or like steal his thunder. And Hangman would have definitely stolen his thunder. Um, so I understand why he didn't come out at the end. Um, but like I was hoping, like if Hangman did come out, I was hoping for a makes him lose and then Hangman challenges Joe at Double or Nothing. But that's because I'm insane and because I have been sticking to this idea in my head that the greatest and best moment for Swerve would have been at Wembley. And so I wanted Hangman to win it back so he would be winning it off of somebody who was so important to Swerve as a star. Like it's his biggest feud. But at the same time, I can see why people were like, no, like, this is something that's already been dragged out or whatever. And it's like, okay, fine, fine,
Yeah.
whatever.
I 100% see the appeal in why you would book it that way. I also see the appeal in booking it the way that it has been booked. It's just when it comes to Swerve, you can take so many avenues because 'cause he'll make all of them work.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Especially now that we've seen him working with Christian. Uh, it's just really nice. It really helps when he has somebody, across the ring from him who actually like gives a fuck a little bit, you know? And I think that's part of the reason why I wish the win had been better is if the build up had been better. And that's not to take away from the fact that it was a great match against Joe and ultimately that great feeling happened at the end and you got to see that shining moment for Swerve. But I would have felt like it would have meant more if I had thought the build was better, which I didn't. I didn't think the build was that good. Um, which
Yeah, it
I don't
wasn't. It
think
was lackluster.
it was not Swerve's fault at all because I've seen Swerve when he has somebody good to work with. And not to shit on Joe, but I did not think he gave it his all.
I honestly think that was his all because Joe has been doing this for roughly 25 years now. I think that's just where we kind of are. And I'm
Ah,
like, that's okay. But also, he was champion for quite a bit of time when he didn't need to be champion for quite a bit of time.
you think so? It was like 4 months.
That
It was
was
a
more than
quarter of
long
the year.
enough.
Quarter? A third.
Man, I have no idea.
A third.
Okay.
Yeah, a third's pretty. I suppose, yeah, a third is a pretty long time. Um, but yeah, we'll get back to Swerve. Um, thoughts on Willow as new TBS champion?
I think that is also very deserved. Um, and I like this trend of Black women winning the TBS title and making it look really, really important and really, really good. Um, I love all this for us, just overall. But I think Willow definitely deserved that title. I liked for the most part, I liked Julia's run, but it started to just kind of peter out, and you could kind of tell, okay, it's time to do a switch. And I
Yeah.
think Willow was the best option for that. Um, Even though it kind of feels like she's going to lose right to Mercedes at Double or Nothing, I think this has still been a pretty good, like just having her have the title at all is great.
Hmm. Okay. I'm really happy that she won. I wish the match had been better. I do have to say that that was probably the most lackluster, match on the card, and that's saying something because I watched the pre-show also. Like, I watched the full thing immediately after everything was over, starting from the pre-show because Jay White was gonna be there. And every match was amazing. The pre-show was amazing, but the Willow versus Julia Hart match was my least favorite match of the whole show. Um, Once again, I do understand why it was so lackluster. It was the same thing that happened with Jamie when Jamie was injured and she had to, you know,
Yeah,
give
give
it
the
off to
title up.
somebody else. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it sucks that it couldn't have been a better match for her to win on, you know? But ultimately it was the right choice um for her to become the champ. Because now there's a title involved again with her and Mercedes.
Now it's Big Willow time.
Yep. Um Now the one other thing, no, we have two matches more to talk about that we really, really want to talk about from Dynasty. For me, it was Brian Danielson versus Will Ospreay. Uh, this match fucking banged, bro. I don't know what to tell you, man. It was so good. It
Yeah, I
was,
didn't watch it.
it was, match. I'm literally distraught that you haven't seen this match. Like,
Okay, let me break down the scene. So, it's a Tuesday when I'm actually getting to be able to just sit down and watch this. It's a Tuesday night. I had just gotten up at 6 a.m. in the morning. I get up, I go to work. I started work, I think, at 8:30 a.m. I went in early. I worked until 5 p.m. I come home. I walked about 2.5, 3 miles. I come back. I get my computer going. I watch this pay-per-view. I had already skipped Jericho versus Hook because I'm like, I don't have time for this. It's 8 o'clock at night now. I'm leaving. I'm getting out of this. I didn't care about this in the first place. So I already skipped one match. And
oh
then they
boy.
get to the promo package, and I'm just like, oh my God, I don't care. I don't care that it's Osprey versus Danielson. It's not gonna top Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr. I don't have time for this. It's 9 o'clock at night now. I need to finish this pay-per-view so I can go to bed. And I skip right past it and I go into the next match, and I don't regret a thing. I can see the pain in your sigh and your look down, but I'm probably not gonna go back and watch it either. I'm so uninterested in things involving Will Ospreay. Even Brian Danielson himself could not sit me down and make me watch this match.
Okay.
Like 30 seconds of pure silence, just sighing and just, "Okay."
I mean, look, you I understand where you're coming from, okay? I understand you are tired. Nobody understands being tired more than I do.
I know this, and I love you.
But come on, man, this match was so good.
If I wanted to watch a good Bryan Danielson match, I'll just go rewatch Zack Sabre Jr.
Look, I personally, me, I thought it was either on level or better than the Zack Sabre Jr. match. That's just me, personally, my opinion. I definitely thought it was better than all of Bryan's Okada matches combined. Uh, and I also thought it was better than Will's match with Kenny. And that look, that's just how I feel. The last match, because that's the only one that I've seen, the one that was on Forbidden Door last year. Um,
Yeah.
this is genuinely the first Osprey match where I really felt invested in what was going on. Every other time, I haven't really felt invested. So that's why it was a big deal for me. Um, and I don't know. I really enjoyed it. It's a great match. Um, someone asked us on Twitter, I might as well just bring this up. Peter asked us what was the exact reaction when Danielson hit the Busaiku knee on Osprey when he went for the Oz cutter. I am telling you, I fucking gasped and I like shot up in my bed because I watched this on my bed because I live in the TV room. Literally, I went, and then I looked at my brother and I was like, "Oh my god!" I was I was insane for like at least 20 seconds, and I couldn't fathom anything else. It was so good. It was so good. I couldn't believe it. I was like, "What? How did this just happen in front of me?" I honestly thought I honestly thought he had it in that moment. That the match was over, it was done. That was it. And then that last home stretch where Bryan gets up and and Osprey gets up and they're both just staring at each other. And it's like two bulls like about to like crash into each other and you know that's what's about to happen. It's just like, wow, holy crap. It was so good. It was such a good match. It's the first time that I've felt like psychosexual tension from Will Osprey to another person. And now
You
I see
definitely
it all
need
the
to
time.
watch that. You definitely need to watch that New Japan Kenny versus Osprey match. If that's what you're
Probably.
chasing, you have to watch that.
Maybe, probably, yeah. But you know I'm weird about Kenny, man. I'm weird about Kenny. So it's
I know you're weird about Kenny.
that's why it's like, eh. But yeah, I probably will have to go back and watch that New Japan match.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Mm,
great fucking match for me. That was my match of the
That is
night.
that is all very I am very happy for you that you enjoyed the match. I'm glad when people enjoy things, even if I didn't enjoy it. This when you brought up,
You didn't give
I
yourself the
thought
chance to enjoy
Danielson,
it.
nah, nah.
You didn't give yourself the chance. Okay.
No, I know my mind. I
Okay.
know what I will and will not enjoy. So
Fair enough.
something you when you brought up, you thought that Danielson had it, but they had another home stretch of the match. This is something I've noticed about Osprey matches that I'm pretty sure is once again Kenny Omega's fault for having his uh 4 match series with Okada. It's that I think Osprey matches go on for nearly an hour simply because he saw Kenny Omega do it and he doesn't understand why Kenny Omega did hour-long matches. And Osprey just likes to wrestle for a long time instead of there being a storyline reason to go for so long.
I cannot dispute that because I have not seen enough Kenny Omega matches in from New Japan. So
I
yeah,
could sit here and break down all 4 of them. We're not
please
gonna do
don't.
that.
Please don't.
We're not gonna do that.
Okay, but I understand
But
where you're
yeah.
coming from. Yes.
Yeah.
Now we can talk about what I'm gonna assume was your match of the night, besides Pac Okada. Like, this is the one you want to talk about. You want to talk about this one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Go
So
ahead.
we had Bucks versus FTR World Tag Team Championship match, ladder match. Unfortunately, it was an FTR match, so it didn't go as hard as it absolutely could have, but it went hard regardless. Um, there were just like the aura of this match, god damn it, I'm on sports social media a little too much now. I really just let aura slip from my mouth and meant it. Um, the vibe of this match was just, let's go out there and knock it out of the park, which FTR picks and chooses when to do, which drives me up the fucking wall. And the Bucks do it every single night. But anyway, like the spots that they did for this match, I genuinely don't understand how the Bucks continue to still stand. I'm so impressed with them all the time, and this made me more impressed with them, like, just on a level I cannot comprehend. It's like, how are you so good at doing this? Why are you so good at what you do? Like, for what? I know it's for me, but, like, and then, the spots in the match, just putting the way they structured the match, and then the way they had, Jack Perry come in and basically win it for them and get them the tag team titles, and now they're working with Jack. It's like it's so oh my god, it's so good.
Yeah,
This was my Danielson Osprey match. That's what that was for me.
I understand. I understand completely. I know we hate FTR here. But I do genuinely, as you said, I have to give them just a little bit of props. In particular, the man who thought that he was gonna get who thought he was going to jail because that's how he was wrestling. He was wrestling like he was going to jail the next day. So
You're so right.
he
That's
that man
exactly what it was.
he was showing out, Matt. He was doing so well.
He was wrestling for an acquittal.
He was wrestling for his goddamn life.
He was in that courtroom and they said, "All right, you have a pay-per-view match coming up. Impress me and we'll talk about an acquittal."
Like we need to research if that judge was like a wrestling fan or something
Yeah.
because
We need to make sure that
some
jury was
fishy
actually impartial.
something fishy going on here because I heard like a couple of days ago that he's cleared, like that he's set, right? Um yeah. Oh, okay. Apparently Dax at the end of the collision that airs today, apparently he was like he asked the crowd to like clap Cash not going to jail.
Jeff, don't laugh. That is extremely that's extremely Jeb Bush. Please clap. That's
Yes.
what that is.
Yes.
Please clap.
Please clap.
That's what's going on here.
Yeah. It's legitimately what it felt like when I heard about that.
Dax needs new friends. You have to stop like, you're the one person in your circle who's not a problem. You need new friends.
he, see, now I'm like relating to Dax because I don't consider myself problematic, but I have gotten in trouble for defending my friends who are problematic.
That's my fault. I apologize. But he's gone through it with,
um,
like how many of his friends has this happened to him with? Like, just this one company, it's been, like, what, 3?
at least two, at the very least.
Yeah, and that's just in this company. He's wrestled elsewhere.
Yeah. Um, we do have to remember that Mercedes and Bailey are very good friends with FTR. Um, so
And you chose well with
I
those two.
I dread though. I dread the day that Mercedes decides to link up with FTR on in kayfabe on TV. I dread.
Mercedes, no! You're gonna wrestle circles around them. Mercedes!
Um. Oh, but the reason I brought up Mercedes is because I was thinking in my head that Cash was taking bumps like Mercedes takes bumps.
It's a good comparison.
which
I
means
like that.
which means that was some god tier level bump taking that he
It
was
was good
doing.
shit. It was good shit. He was showing out.
Yeah, so I do have to give that to FTR. They did a good job. Um, but honestly, that surprise at the end was so good. I love that there were people who caught him on video before when he was in the crowd, like when he walked into the arena, and immediately they were on him. They were like, "Who's that? Looks important. I think that's Jack Perry. Oh, that's definitely Jack Perry. Look at his beard. Look at his hair." I
Yep.
love it so much. Everybody was so happy to see him.
That's
They
my
cheered
son.
this man. They cheered this man, and I'm so happy that that's the reception he got. Truly. The only problem is with how much we love Jack Perry. I am so surprised at what they're doing with the Elite versus AEW. Do you see how I segued into it? Do you see how I segued
Fantastic.
into it?
We get better
Fantastic,
at
right? Now we,
segues all the time.
you know what? I think we do. We're getting there.
We're figuring it
so
out.
the Elite, so the Elite versus AEW. So after Dynasty, the Bucks and Jack Perry and Okada are seen together. They're linked up. Um, Jack comes out because he has to speak with Tony, and he cuts a promo, basically telling him that uh, he's sorry and he wants to put this behind them. And Tony Khan does not speak through this speech. He comes out and he shakes Jack's hand, and then they pull each other in for a hug. And when they pull each other in for a hug, you get the most impish, cat like,
Shit eating grin.
mischievous, shit eating grin from Jack Perry. He is looking at the crowd out towards us, and Tony Khan does not see this shit eating grin. And then he pulls away, and then Tony holds Jack's hand up, like they do at the end of a match, like winner. And then Jack just wallops him in the stomach.
Mollywopped.
Tony Khan got mollywopped. And then he's about to beat him down further when the Elite comes out, and they're like, "What are you doing? That's a billionaire." How could you do this? Basically, like being like, no, Jack, that's not what we do around here. And then they just fucking turn on Tony. And they give him a Tony Khan driver, and you see Okada like pointing, like doing a little meme point, like, yeah, like this is what we're doing. And it's just like, I love these men. I love these men.
I just want to say, I know good and goddamn well Kazuchika Okada is genuinely having the time of his life right now. Like,
I
he
knew
has
he
not
would.
experienced this level of joy in years.
Dude, this is exactly what I wanted for him.
Yeah. Everything
He
I wanted.
has he has the Hall of Fame career in New Japan already. Like, what else was he gonna do? He was gonna be in a big fucking group, and he was just gonna do the goofiest fucking shit imaginable that he wants. And when he has singles matches, he just hits him out of the park, you know? But otherwise, apart from those singles matches, absolute goofball motherfucker.
Absolutely.
This is exactly this is exactly where he's supposed to be.
Yep.
I'm so happy for Okada. But yeah, so they give him a Tony Khan driver, which is very
Mhm.
funny. And Shad Khan comes out at the end to check on his son.
That is so funny to me. Your son is 35. He's, like, 35 years old, and you're just, "Oh, my baby boy." I'm like, "What?"
The screenshot of his reaction to his son on the ground is the funniest thing. And people have been using it for like the past 3 weeks, 4 weeks for everything.
I've been using okay, so when that Dynamite came out, I think Tony Khan, like, orchestrated this purposefully, like, there was no coincidence in timing, he did this on purpose. That Dynamite was the day before the first round of the NFL draft, of which Tony Khan would be
Yes.
attending, being the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Um,
Mm-hmm.
when they showed him on screen at the draft with the neck brace on, I fell the fuck out. That was the funniest thing I'd seen in my entire life. He was 'Cause it's like I had a date with me to watch the NFL draft. I he that motherfucker had no idea what the fuck was going on with football, but I'm spouting shit out. I'm talking about the draft picks, the prospects, what it means for my team, what it means for other teams, things like that. And then when it gets to he also doesn't know anything about wrestling. So when it showed Tony Khan and I'm laughing, he's like, "He's injured. Why are you laughing at him?" And I had to explain to him it's a wrestling angle, and it's hilarious that he went this far. And
Oh my
he's on
god.
ESPN with a neck brace on, sipping his little coffee.
And he's got the just biggest smile on his face too. Like
He
as soon
looks
as he
so proud of himself.
the greatest part is how much fun those sports commentators and those like analysts and shit, like how much they were having fun with it too.
Well, they were having a blast. I recorded, the draft, the first round of the draft. I might go and rewatch it just to relive the Tony Khan moment.
Honestly, you're right. Like everybody's been saying this. I know you aren't on Twitter, but everybody has been saying like that he definitely did that on purpose. He definitely finally after 5 years found a way to use the fact that he is literally an owner like in the NFL to his advantage. And
Mhm.
it's just like, buddy, it was about time. What
He
took you
finally
so
figured it
long?
out. Like, just short of
It's like,
having Trevor Lawrence show up on the show, like, he figured it out.
yeah. And it's like, I don't know if you saw, but one of those guys, the ones who was, I think he was the one who like said that Tony Khan was in a neck brace or whatever. He has a show also with like two other guys. I can't remember his name. I knew his name for like 3 or 4 days, and then I forgot his name. But he has a show, and he brought it up again. He was
Is it
like,
Pat McAfee?
no, not Pat Mac. Come on, are you serious?
I'm like, 'cause I
I
figured
know.
I think you know who that is, so I'm like, "That can't possibly be
No,
correct."
no, it
But
was
yeah, I think it is a different
some
sports
older white
analyst.
guy.
Yeah,
Some older white
I think I
guy.
know who you're talking about, but there are so many
I
of
think it
them.
starts with like an E or something. I don't know. Um, but he brought it up again during his show. And this guy who apparently watches wrestling, it was a black guy, he said something like, he said, oh yeah, so like AEW, like he was explaining about AEW. He was explaining it to him, like what's going on.
That's why Tony did it.
And and that's why Tony, yeah, dude, The only thing that I'm like mildly upset about that they didn't get right, like that he didn't get right, is he called it a Meltzer driver when it's not a Meltzer driver anymore.
Yeah, but it's like it's semantics really, but it's like, come on. God damn it.
But like,
We were
how
so
much
close.
fun would it have been? How much fun would it have been if they learned that the driver that he took is called the TK driver after Tony Khan? Like, that would have
I
been
would
so funny.
that would have been amazing.
But also, like, Meltzer being brought up during like football sports is really funny to me.
It's a little bit funny because we have this like super important like analyst within our community of like a fake sport talking to like multi-billion dollar franchise actual sports.
Yeah, it was just honestly like that Wednesday and like the 2 or 3 days after during the draft were so fun to be online. Just so fun. Like the vibes were never better. It was so good.
Yeah.
I was so happy.
I was on
Um,
Twitter a little bit. I was lurking during that. I didn't post
mhm,
anything, but I was lurking. It was fun. And
yeah.
then I'll talk to you about this after the podcast, but there was a specific meme going around with one of the Eagles, my teams, one of the Eagles draft picks that was just hilarious. It's still going on because they just announced what his position will be um, within the NFL, but I'll digress from that. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. So they killed TK in this week that we're talking about. And then like a week later, Kenny has to show up because there's nobody to run the show because TK has been killed off TV.
You killed him.
They killed him. They killed him. Um and so Kenny comes out, and I do have to say this was probably my favorite Kenny Omega promo that I've heard in the past 5 years of AEW. Um Genuinely a really good emotional promo. Just really good, like overall. And just the fact that he emphasized so clearly, like, they're gonna gut me open, and if anything happens to this part of my body, I'm screwed. And then they come out and they kill him and they hit that body part. It's absolutely insane. Such a good segment. Really good. I was really happy with it. What do you think?
S- Okay, I'll start off with
You
like
have
the,
you have more thoughts on this, I'm sure, like actual shoot feelings than I do.
of course I
And for
do.
that and for that I'm sorry.
So basically, what you said, I want to piggyback off of because it was kind of funny. Um, Basically, when Kenny was saying, like, if this part of my body is like hit too hard one time, like I'm done for, and then they like purposely like attack him there and all that jazz. He did genuinely have to go to the hospital again after that.
He
He
did.
just he just said fuck it.
I
He's like,
know, he's crazy.
yeah. He just said, "Fuck it, like, I'll just go back." So he was talking about that on his stream because he streams on Twitch now, Street Fighter 6, and he was talking about, "Yeah, I went to the hospital again after that, had another consultation about possibly doing the surgery, and I got hooked up with, the top
The
person in the
best.
field,
Yeah.
and so I'm hopeful about being able to wrestle again." And I'm like, "That's great. I'm not. No, I lost
Jesus.
hope in December."
Yeah. I'm sorry, man. It sucks. It's shit's
It was
dire
bound to
around here,
happen.
man.
It
Oh.
was bound to happen.
Yeah. My only hope is that even if he can't come back to wrestle full time, that he'll get to do what Chuck Taylor got to do, and at the very least have one last match to finish it out. Um, I'm not going to talk about Chuck Taylor yet. I'm not ready to talk about Chuck Taylor yet. So we're just going to continue with this. So yeah, Kenny dies in Winnipeg, and like a week later or so, he enlists FTR to battle it out against the Elite because they were the ones who came to his aid at the end of that segment. Um, there's a promo that he cuts in the hospital, quote unquote,
Yeah, that was
and
that hospital was a set, definitely. But he did eventually go to an actual hospital again.
yeah, so he tells us that the greatest tag team of all time, FTR, is going to battle it out with two other people uh, against the Bucks, Okada, and Jack Perry at Anarchy in the Arena, which is our first Double or Nothing uh, match so far. Um, yeah, he called FTR the best in the world.
In his defense, the Bucks did genuinely just try to kill him. So he's a little upset at them. So I can understand
In
doing that. You're wrong, of course, but I can understand doing that.
Also, in kayfabe, he was in the hospital, so it's likely somebody gave him some drugs.
He's on a little bit of morphine, if you know what I'm saying. He's
That
off the
man, huh?
Tylenol.
He's on that codeine.
He's on that
Extra
good
strength.
800 milligrams. But I wanted to say a little something about this match. I think what people are kind of
Mhm.
confusing with, and this is a little bit of AEW's fault with their naming convention. So it's
Right.
not necessarily supposed to be the Bucks, Perry, Okada versus like the homegrown, scrappy talent of AEW. It's supposed to be Bucks, Kazu, Perry against people who have stood up to the Bucks. It's not necessarily I can understand that kind of confusion because they called it AEW versus the Elite. It's people who are for AEW being what it once was before the Elite took over it as these evil corporate bosses, not
Yeah.
AEW 5 years ago.
Right. Yeah, no, like media literacy is important. I feel like we uh it's just I feel like it's just us really wanting it to be people that we can actually cheer for.
Definitely. Definitely.
And the thing is that we can't cheer for FTR. We're just not
No.
feeling it.
I'd
No.
rather pull out a tooth.
Exactly. So, yeah, so when it comes to the Bucks, especially considering the fact that they did start this company with Tony Khan, and they're so integral to the feeling of AEW, what it is, like what we think it should be and was before. Um, it's hard to find people at that level that aren't
Yeah.
them.
Especially
that
because the
aren't
other two are gone.
Yes. Yeah, one is injured and the other one is just
Simply off.
gone.
Poof.
He's gone. Oof.
Mm.
Hangman, come back.
Bro, please, bro. Please, man. It's looking a little bad out here. I really miss you.
Shit is dire. Like, and here's the thing is that I'm not unhappy with what's been going on. I'm not. It's just that's my Blorbo. I want it back.
I just dude, I've lost my bucks to an FTR feud again. I've lost my husband to the war, and I've lost the other one to essentially
Tummy
dying.
problems.
Like, I'm not it's not that anything AEW is doing is particularly bad, just give me my boys back.
Where's all the real bitches at?
Where are the Hoopers at?
Where the Hoopers at, bro? Free the guys.
Give them back.
I'm making a Megan Thee Stallion reference, but I can't say the N word. So
Would you like to? I'm kidding.
no.
I should have thought about that before I said it. I'm very sorry for that.
I can't breathe.
I'm sorry. Oh god. That's my fault. There's this
I
one
need
clip
water.
This is one clip from the comedian Theo Von's his podcast, and he was talking to a black guy, and he had a few other people in the studio with him, and he was like, "Man, has a white guy ever said the N word to you?" Like he's like genuinely asking, and the black guy says, "Nah, no one ever has." And someone pipes up from the corner. They're like, "You ready?" That's what I just did to you, and I'm sorry. We've officially gone off the rails, and it's my fault.
Like, man, it's hot girl summer. Fuck it.
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm holding my chest because of just how much overwhelmed I am. Oh, it's hot in here. I think I need to turn the fan on.
I probably should turn my fan on. I've been sweating. It's 99 degrees out here.
Oh shit. Oh, I am not looking forward to that west heat. That southwest heat we're gonna get. Oh,
Well, there's no humidity, so it's like a good breeze just knocks the heat off. So it's like it's a lot less suffocating. It'll be hot, but it's a lot less suffocating. We'll have fun. We'll stay inside the hotels.
I want everybody to know that I was just blinking at Max for like 15 seconds. Just continuously blinking. Oh. Alright. Anyway, free the guys.
Free 'em.
Free the guys.
Give 'em back.
Oh.
Okay.
Um, okay. Are we done? Are we done with the elite right now?
I think we are. I think we covered
I
it.
think. Okay. So, um, uh, how do I? So Swerve kind of has something to do with this. Um, the way it can be explained is that this same week that they killed Tony Khan, sorry, last week that they killed Tony Khan, the way that we're. Let me start over. So the week that they killed Tony Khan, Swerve cuts a promo on Collision. It's his first promo as the world champion. He had a match on Wednesday that was very good against Kyle Fletcher. It was a banger. I enjoyed that match. Definitely go back and watch it if you haven't. And in the promo on Collision, he basically says, like, look, I have a target on my back right now, being the world champion. But I do have to say that Bucks, that was a bitch move. What you did to Tony Khan. Which is kind of in the realm of what I wanted from him. I did want him to address what happened. I think that he did. It was a very like class president vibe, you know, like I have to talk about this. I have to address it. But it wasn't like something that he particularly like wants to insert himself into because he has his own shit to do, you know? So I did like that. I like that it still gave the vibes of what I wanted, which me personally, I thought that Swerve, like just based off of Swerve's character, the way he's very, I got my own shit to worry about. I worry about me over here, what I want. um, so I did appreciate how it kind of balanced out both of those things that I wanted him to do. Like he definitely shouldn't have not addressed it, so I'm glad he did. But also, it was in such a way that was indicative of his character, which is like, I got my own shit I gotta do. So I'm not really worried about that. But I just need to say that was terrible what you guys did. So then what happens later is that I believe he's cutting a promo about who his next challenger is gonna be or something. Like a week or two later. And the Bucks are like, hold on there, champ. We got somebody in store for you. And Christian comes out. And Christian is exactly who I was hoping for. Because he had been off TV for a very long time and he was like he's like a great starting heel for him to start with. Like that's stupid. But he was a great heel for his first feud because he's just so good at being who he is, you know? And as they showed, they do have a history because Christian took in Nick Wayne. Nick Wayne got assaulted by Swerve at his dad's dojo, you know, so it kind of brings in the whole father thing. Also, Swerve in that Collision promo had mentioned his daughter, so it only makes sense that the first man to come up to him was going to be everybody's father, the patriarch of AEW. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it's gone too. You know, Swerve uh gets taken out by Christian, I believe, or yes, that's what happens, right? No, everybody else beats him up, right?
Wasn't it? I think it was like
Nick,
Luchasaurus and them.
Luchasaurus.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, he gets taken down by them, and Swerve says something along the lines of, you know, I have friends, da 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 da, which kind of has us confused. Like just the way that it was worded, it's like, wait, who? Because we know you have a faction, so saying that doesn't feel like it should be emphasized, you know? Um, and so the next week, he does come out. He does have the Mogul Embassy at his side. And then they turn on him. The Mogul Embassy turns on Swerve
They got his
at
ass.
Christian's behest. They got his ass. They Swerve again. Which is which is really good because it kind of makes it seem like yes, like this is he's outnumbered. This is
It's kind of like
this
you're
is bad.
okay, you're champ now. Figure it out.
Figure it out. Yeah, target on your back. Exactly.
Yeah.
You won't have it on your back. Everybody's going for it. But yeah, it's but we do have to remember that it's not 20v1, it's 1v20. And so Swerve is not going to back down. he reinforces that he is a bad motherfucker. Brings out the chain, kills Brian Cage at some point. Um,
One of those
and
dynamites.
yeah, probably last week. It was really good. Probably 3 days ago, actually. I can't tell time anymore. Um, but yeah, everything so far with this feud with Swerve and Christian is going really well. I liked the touch of Christian saying he's going to take everything from him, and each week he takes something else. He took his blood this week, which made all of the Hangman girls go, "What?"
First of
Because
all, that's not your gimmick. That's not your
that's
place
not
to
yours to
take
take.
his blood, okay? That belongs to someone else.
Exactly. Exactly. That is Hangman's blood. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, did you ingest that after going through the most, just blood-driven and brutal Texas death match? No? Sorry, buddy.
Yeah. And he didn't ingest it. So how much of a sick freak are you even? Huh? Huh?
Sick
You're
freak
not.
poser.
Yeah, poser. Anyway,
Mm.
wait, did you get to see Swerve's promo to Christian? Where he brought up Drake and Kendrick?
I did not. I figured he would. Um, I didn't get to see the full promo. I got to see the clip where he was getting beaten down and he got all the blood just spraying out of the side of his head, which was crazy
That
to
was
look
this
at.
week.
Oh, so that was before.
Yes.
Again, I
So
can't tell time.
last week, right. So last week is when uh he brings up this won't be the first time that a deadbeat father from Toronto gets his ass beat by somebody from the West Coast.
Let's go! We
And
rep
I was like,
Washington in this bitch. We rep
let's
Washington.
fucking go. I was like, let's fucking go. Oh, it was so good. I was so happy that's where I brought up that shit, bro.
As he should.
Honestly, out of even though we've had like many highs and many lows in the past month, probably the highest high that I had besides like when Jack Perry and the Bucks beat up Tony Khan and then the subsequent NFL draft shenanigans. The Kendrick and Drake rap beef was so
Generational.
important to me.
Generational.
So fucking important to me. Oh my god.
I remember where were you? Where were you when Drake dropped Family Matters and 15 minutes later Kendrick dropped Meet the Grams? Where were you?
Bro, I was literally right here on my bed. I was just watching TV and scrolling Twitter for like the past 30 minutes, and then this motherfucker drops that shit again.
I was literally so it happened I think that portion of the battle dropped on Friday or Saturday. Um
It was Friday.
Friday. Okay. So I was like just chilling in my room at that
Mm.
point, and then I saw like it was like the screenshot of like George W. Bush getting the whisper in his ear from like Secret Service, like
Yes.
a second plane has hit the tower. And it's like Kendrick Lamar has dropped a second track. And I was like, wait a minute, what do you mean? Wait, hold on, what do you mean? And then the next morning he drops Not Like Us.
Yeah, that shit was insane.
That was
Dude,
crazy.
it's the only thing that was keeping me from like just absolute depression over my cat. It was the only way that I could like continue living genuinely.
Yeah.
And for that, I will be forever grateful to Kendrick Lamar only.
Thank
Um,
you, Sure King. I gotta admit, Drake lost, but he was kinda correct about the size 7 foot. He was just kind of unfortunately, that's just the way it is.
Genuinely, it is sad that um Family Matters was so good as a song. Like I watched the music video and I was watching the mute. That's what happened. I was watching Family Matters as Kendrick dropped the second track. And I was like, already?
Wait a minute, wait a minute!
I'm not even done yet. I got 3 more minutes to this song. Oh my god, it was insane. Um, but yeah, there's it was a good song. I do have to say, it was a very good song, good music video, and everything. It's just upsetting that Andrew got his fucking ass, bro.
I loved Kendrick was playing, like, Arkham Asylum, the Riddler level mind games with that man.
Yes, he was playing 40 fucking chess, bro. It was
Absolutely.
so good.
Like, I have somebody on the inside, they don't like you, they wanna see your downfall, I know exactly what you're gonna do before you do it, and then he actually did everything he was going to do before he did it. He knew exactly he had the fact that you can't make Meet the Grams in 15 minutes. He had that he knew what Drake was going to say in Family Matters. He 1000% has somebody on the inside in OVO.
Oh yeah,
Anything Drake says is irrelevant because he knew exactly what your rap was going to be before you made it.
yeah. Before you, and then he had already the fucking track ready 20 minutes later, which means this is what he did. He gave everybody the time to watch it immediately.
Mhm.
He gave it a 20-minute grace period and then he dropped that bitch.
My favorite part is all the people who were, like, streaming, listening to Family Matters, like, people who were streaming on, like, Twitch, YouTube, whatever. They were all, like, listening to the song and what's the word? Reacting to it, and then on stream, all get the message that Kendrick dropped, and then it turns into a Kendrick react, and then all of
Yes.
Drake's thunder is stolen, and everyone's dunking on him, and he's just done for.
Not to be all like boss baby meme, like guy who has only ever seen boss baby, this is exactly like boss baby, but thinking about every time that Tony Khan tweets shit about WWE, like that people get mad about, and then he immediately puts in like AEW Dynamite on TNT or on TBS 8 p.m. Eastern. Like that's exactly what he does. He be doing that shit, bro.
Yeah. Kinda stole his whole
It
flow.
be it be that manipulative shit, bro. I love it so much.
So good.
It's called multi-level marketing, bro. Oh my god. I'm sweating already thinking about how good the week was.
I was listening to Not Like Us just earlier today.
Bro, I can't stop listening to it. My
If I knew
brother
it had a
what
crip
went to
walk, I would.
my brother went to go get groceries yesterday, and my
Mhm,
mom was FaceTiming him because she wanted him to get her some sort of like nail thing for her nails. And I'm in the back making mac and cheese in the kitchen. And I'm just going, what the fuck? Which part was I doing? I think I was doing, are you my friend? Are we locked in? Then step this way, step that way, then step this way, step
mhm.
that way. And my brother can hear me through the FaceTime. He's like, are you seriously listening, doing Not Like Us again? And I'm like,
Let
yes!
me hear you say "OV ho."
Oh, me ho!
Say "OV ho."
Oh, me ho!
Then step this way, step that way, then step this way, step that way. It's unfortunately for Drake the song of the summer. Like,
Unfor-
GG's good.
Bro,
GG's guy. It's over.
Fucking Bob. Like this is somebody said this. I can't remember who said it, but it's like Ding Dong the Witch is Dead. Like that's
Yeah.
that levels of celebration. Like
Yeah. Clubs, like, immediately they put on they changed from Family Matters to Not Like Us and kept it at Not Like Us.
I'm saying. Like holy shit. Imagine being Drake and everywhere you go, they're playing Not Like Us the whole summer. And Not Like Us is lit it's literally everybody going, "Ha you lost."
It's literally
It's all
everybody
summer.
laughing at you for being worse. Like,
Honestly,
and then the fact that
honestly,
Drake really thought he won with his last what I don't even know what the title is, his last drop.
he didn't he didn't
He
think he won.
was
It's
it
the
was
Heart Part 6.
literally it was like 5 minutes of just, "Nuh-uh." Like, "Brother, it's over. You're not gonna
It
financially
was
recover from
literally
this."
it was literally like, "Nuh-uh, if I was really a pedo, they would have put my ass in jail. Nuh-uh. That's not even true."
Like, "No, I'm not hiding a daughter. What are you even talking about?" Like, "Brother, come on."
By the way, did I mention I'm not a pedo?
Yeah. If you have to make a song about not diddling kids, you're diddling kids.
You know what Kendrick did when he called him a white beater? He didn't bring it up ever
Yeah, he
because he
actually
knows it's not real.
I like what he said when he was like, what was the exact line? He was making up lies because you heard Mr. Morale, and it was literally because he knew Drake was going to go in through Mr. Morale, which was about Kendrick's life, and just spin shit to make him look bad, and it's like, "Nope, I already addressed all that. Sorry, and I told the truth in it,
All
so you're done."
all it all Drake did by bringing up that song and talking about Kendrick being molested as a child, all he did was show everybody that he's illiterate because he didn't even understand the song.
Nope,
He's Kendrick is literally saying, "My mom didn't believe that I didn't get molested." Like,
and that translates
so
to,
he
"Yeah, I definitely did get you fucking idiot.
anyway, rest in piss, Drake. I don't know what to tell you.
Bozo, smoking that pack."
I don't listen to a lot of rap, but I have always liked Kendrick. Like for the past literally for the past 7 years since I met my ex-husband and he showed me Kendrick, like I have enjoyed Kendrick because I could see how just layered his music was. And I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
yeah, I love this. I love this so much. It's like opening up a book and trying to interpret what's going on. It's
Yeah.
not just that the curtains are blue. And that's how his music is. The curtains are not just blue, and I love that.
I honest to God think Drake is not a rapper, he's a pop star.
Yeah.
Like, it's so everything he makes is so lifeless and so bad. It can only be described as just radio pop.
I also have to the BBL Drizzy track.
A BBL
The
Drizzy song? I got a TikTok of
the
that just today.
the crowd funded haterism.
The fact that like, he enlisted the entire world to dunk on Drake is crazy. Crazy work.
Stellar, spectacular, absolutely extravagant.
No notes. We will never see a rap beef to this, like have you ever seen somebody get jumped by just 2 people? That's what just happened. It was like they refused to listen to the "Let Him Get Up," and they just kept dropping after dropping after dropping. It just help him. I started to when they dropped BBL Drizzy, I started to feel bad. I'm like, "Wait,
Yeah,
like,
me too.
let him get up." It was, like, cruel at that point because he had dropped 616 to LA, and then Meet the Grams completely stole his thunder, and then he dropped Not Like Us, and then they dropped BBL Drizzy. I'm like, "Wait!"
Let him breathe.
Give him a minute. Yeah. But then he dropped his whack ass, like, final song, and I was like, "Yeah,
And
get
it's
back on
like,
this motherfucker. Yeah, stomp him out
you
again."
dumb fuck. Yeah. Uh, yeah, so rest in piss, Drake. Um, Swerve versus Christian at Double or Nothing. Um, how do you think this match is gonna go? Since we're here.
I I don't really know. Like, I know, of course, Christian's gonna try and use, he's gonna use Mother Wayne, he's gonna use Nick, he's gonna use, Luchasaurus and them, probably even the Mogul Embassy, but Swerve's not gonna lose. I just don't know how he's gonna win.
That's fair. I also don't know how this is gonna go. Because doubling back to the elite versus, them other guys. Um, do you think Hangman's gonna come out at any point? Truly, do you?
Not in their match. I would expect him to come out
Not
during
in theirs?
Swerve's.
You think he'll come out during Swerves?
Possibly. I think it might be where he comes out and he's the next challenger, I think. That's the angle I would take. Um, I wouldn't put Hangman back with the Elite just yet. I think he has that loose end with Swerve still.
I agree. I just feel like actually I'm gonna talk about what other people feel. Um, there are some people that think that like this team that's been set up is kind of like the first wave of what's going on here. So they think that the elite are going to win and that this team will be decimated and that they're going to need a fresh team to start
Mm.
up. Or maybe not even a fresh team, but they're definitely going to need someone stronger than who they have in this team to kind of lead it, especially considering the fact that Kenny is obviously out, so someone needs to take his place. And some people think that it could be Hangman. Um, but it could be one of those situations where they think Hangman at first sides with the elite and then he realizes what's going on with them and how wrong it is and he goes back. Or it could be the other way around where he goes out to help the other team and then eventually ends up siding with the elite. Um, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's gonna go on with Hangman. There's so many ways it could go with him coming back. I think any way will work just fine. Um, because it's Hangman and he is very good at telling me a story and making
Yeah,
it make sense.
yeah.
But me personally, I'm on the side of at the end of this whole thing, he sides with the elite.
I'd agree with that, especially because of like the heelish nature of how he left AEW.
Mhm.
He would definitely I feel like he would definitely see a benefit in siding with the elite, especially since the elite sicked Christian on Swerve. I think he would fuck with that heavy.
Yes. And there is also that whole thing that Swerve is paying for his transgressions one step at a time.
Yeah.
Um, so I feel like the final transgression that he has to pay for is Hangman and what he did to Hangman. Um, so I could definitely still see Hangman versus Swerve at Wembley.
We could still get there. There's a lot of time in between now and Wembley. We could still get there.
Exactly. Well, yeah, we still have a whole summer ahead of us, so that's what I'm hoping for. That's the only thing that makes the most sense to me. I know there's people that are also saying like he sides with the other team by the end. He sides with Swerve, which I think would be fine because we would get to see a whole new dynamic between them. Because at the end of the day, it's gonna be Swerve versus the Elite because he's the world champion, right? Um, so like I said, it would be a nice dynamic to see between them because we haven't seen that yet. We've seen them already as sworn mortal enemies, but we haven't seen them actually side by side. So that'd be fun. I don't like that though because it's leaning too close to what happened between MJF and Cole on the way to Wembley, and I don't want that to be the story going into Wembley.
That's fair. Yeah, we've experienced it once. We can get a shakeup this year.
Yeah,
Yeah. I feel like honestly though, they would tell that story a lot better, but that's just me dick riding
that's
Hangman
how I
some more.
wanted the story. Hangman was supposed to be in that story for me, and Cole was supposed to be the other one.
I know.
I'm still upset at Tony Khan.
He
He
did steal
stole
your
my
idea.
idea. He plagiarized me.
He stole your whole flow.
I'm mad as hell. Anyway, moving on. Speaking of betrayal, so we have the best friends implosion. You like how I did that?
That's no segue.
Trent turned heel when he lost to the Bucks with Orange Cassidy. Um, so he turned against Orange. Uh, Basically, what I've gathered from most of his promos so far have been that um, Orange was supposed to be like the mascot to Best Friends, not the other way around. And he thinks it's kind of fucked up because not only is Orange kind of like an egotistical maniac, but so every other top guy in the company. So now that I'm thinking about it, now that we're on air, I think Trent is going to end up on either Team Elite or the other team. Just because of the way he's talking, where he's talking about how like the top guys are very narcissistic and stuff like that.
Toxic,
I
one might
think he
say.
could end up, huh?
Toxic, some might say.
Exactly. Um yeah, so he could end up siding with the Elite. That would be really cool actually to see him side against the baby faces. Um quote unquote. Uh but yeah, so he turned heel on Orange Cassidy and then he told Chuck, "You better decide whose side you're on." Chuck chooses Orange. He got to say shit on television at Daly's place, which is it's like chef's effing kiss. Just oh, oh, and just Chuck being like such an important part of the story was so good. Like it was so invigorating. And then he challenges Trent to the parking lot match, which is like a staple of pandemic era Daly's place and the best friends. He dies in it and he's now 99.99% retired due to a shoot bone leg injury that I can't explain.
Yeah.
So it was like a roller coaster of emotions for the best friends girls. Um, the past 2 weeks that happened, and it fucking sucks.
You know, as a Kenny girl, I understand. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
It's the shaking hands meme, but it's of tragedy.
Um, Tunnel Talk and Waffly Bollocks, I am so sorry.
Yeah, we
I am so
apologize.
sorry. Julia from the Outside Dive, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry to all of you. I know how much everyone loves Chuck Taylor. I am also distraught, by the way. It's just he's not like at the top of my list, but like he has a special soft part of my heart because he is my dream prom date. And this is really upsetting because now he has a messed up leg and he can't dance. So, yeah. Yeah. That's all I can say on that. Do you have any thoughts to share on this?
I do not really. I think I'm pretty much the only person in the world who doesn't really have any feelings or thoughts for best friends. Um, it's not for me. I don't think, which is okay. But I think any person having to retire out of injury is something that's very sad. And then I also just really enjoy a best friends tag team, like betrayal angle overall. So I think this is like, depending on where this all goes, I think this could be something really good for both Chuck and Orange. Like placement in card wise, storyline wise, poor things.
And shoot wise,
And
poor
shoot
Chuck.
wise, poor things.
Yeah. Um, there are some who are making the joke, and it's the people who deserve to be making jokes at this time, the ones who are in denial and who are sad, and they deserve to make jokes. But they do believe that this is probably the most Chuck Taylor thing that has ever happened.
You know what? Kinda is. It kinda is.
And you know what? Good on him
Good for him.
for for just being so himself. Fuck. Man, this shit sucks. Anyway, another person who was injured was Mercedes Monet, and she will be coming back to wrestling, okay, at Double or Nothing against Willow. Um, the past few weeks we've gotten a lot of good promos from both of them. Um, Willow has just been cutting some beautiful babyface promos.
She's
Just
been laying out that
absolutely
heat.
wonderful. Yes. Mercedes very clearly upset with Willow over everything that's happened. Like you can tell that there's just that vitriol every time that she speaks, every time she talks to Willow, and it's just like, "Yes, baby, you are going to turn heel. I am so ready to see my evil wife. I'm so ready."
I missed her so much.
And yes, and I feel like she's been doing a great job with her promos. I feel like every time she does get better, even though there are some who disagree with me, and that's fine, but I believe that you're just being impatient. She's only been here a month and a half, folks, and she still hasn't wrestled. So, shut up.
I'm saying, like, I really hate people who like, oh my God, she's had a month of a promo a week at least. So that's what? Four, like maybe five promos unscripted for the first time in like her professional on TV career. How
Yes,
about
off script.
yeah, how about we acknowledge that and say she's doing a great job. We meet her where she's at. Radical idea, I know, but let's give that a try.
Yes. Um, so yeah, so I feel like considering that I'm someone who actually gives her leeway because I understand where she's coming from. I really do feel like she has improved every time. And this last promo that she had during the contract signing was really good too. I feel like she's very aware of what she is. Since the beginning, I feel like she's been very aware that she is the CEO. This is her identity. She is a privileged person amongst others. She makes lots of money and she knows it. She's very aware. She carries herself in that way, and I feel like there's some who might take her promos as very fake and disingenuous. And to that I say, that's the fucking point. That's literally the point. You remember when she came out in her debut and I said she was giving anime villain? Like Kenny Omega levels of anime villain?
Like
This is literally what she is. Come on,
like,
guys.
let's get with the program. Like, yeah, that's exactly what she's doing.
Yeah. Like, come on. Keep the fuck up.
Jesus, you're fucking lagging behind.
Yeah. And it's just like, yes, this is part of what she's doing. And it works for her because she does have trouble giving promos. And so the gimmick that she has made for herself keeps all of that within it. You know, it helps how she is make sense to you. To you, it might seem like, oh, she's still uncomfortable. She still sounds like she's talking like she's in WWE, all cartoony and shit. But that's the fucking point. She's supposed to be cartoony. That's the character. That's part of what she is. So it works for what she's going for. And I think that's important. And I feel like she gets an A plus for that. Just
Agreed.
A for effort, A for presentation, A for gimmick. She understands what she's doing. She understands her motivations. The promo she cut at Daly's place with Willow. That was really good for me personally because she got into that anger like really well. Like you could tell like that was probably the most genuine she's been because it was coming from a real feeling that I'm sure she's been feeling for the past year. Is the fact that yes, Willow did injure her and she took 9 months of her life away. Like, that's how she feels. Like, that is something that happened. Like, it may not have been Willow's fault, okay? And clearly, like, nobody actually blames Willow. Like, that, like, shoot for real, nobody actually blamed Willow.
Yeah.
But it makes sense for Mercedes' character to hate Willow for that.
Yeah, to
And the
feel
fact
very
that that
slighted.
is yes, and the fact that is the most raw emotion that Mercedes has given off so far is awesome. Like, I really do enjoy that a lot. I think she should probably like dive into that a little bit more. But it's gonna be great when she turns heel. Like, cause come on, man, she's an evil bitch.
She's meant to be. She is true. She
She's
is well
meant.
and true. She's one of those people who's like they're meant to be a career heel. They're meant to be the
Yes,
worst person around their entire career.
and I think that's why like her and Charlotte like was always like so like tense because they're both so good at being the heel. So good. And so like having one be the baby face and the other one having to like bounce off of that, like
Wasn't a good
the
match.
baby face is the baby face is the one that has to really really struggle with the identity they're presenting.
Yeah.
So it always sucked. Like it wasn't that fun. To me the matches were always great, but like
The
when
actual
it comes to
matches were great, but the
yeah,
pairing of the two characters was wrong.
yeah, yeah, it didn't work because it just didn't make sense for what they are because they're both such great heels.
Yep.
Yeah. Um but yeah, I'm very happy. We're going to get Mercedes versus Willow. It's supposedly Anarchy in the Arena, Swerve versus Christian, and Willow versus Mercedes are considered a triple main event. I saw the graphic yesterday, I believe. Um, how do you feel about that?
I
And what do you think's gonna happen?
I feel okay. Well, first of all, I'm gonna say there's no such thing as a triple or co-main event. The last match that goes on is the main event. We fucking know that. Why are you still acting like it's anything different? Anyway, I'm really excited to see this match live. Like, I'm really excited to see this match live. I saw Mercedes live when she was Sasha Banks, 2021 WrestleMania. It's a Seeing her live is such a treat. And I don't expect her to be at that level of wrestling because she's still coming back off of an injury, so I'm having leeway on how well she's going to do, but I think she's going to do still, like she's going to be herself, which is going to be great. And then, of course, seeing Willow live is just awesome. She's such a presence. Um,
Mhm.
and I think Mercedes is either going to win or she's gonna officially turn heel. But I think, actually, I think overall, she's going to become a full heel. I think she's gonna win the title and turn full heel, or she's gonna lose the title and turn full heel. Either way, I think
But
we're
either
gonna
way,
drop yeah, I think we're gonna drop the tweener, just kind of, "I'm just happy to be here." I think we're gonna drop that finally, and she's gonna come into, like, the real anime villain inside of her.
mhm, absolutely. Um, I forgot to talk about the contract signing, like in
Oh,
terms of like
yeah.
what happened.
Yes.
So, Willow took a cheap shot about walking out of their last match and Mercedes not being able to, which was insane work from Willow. I did not expect that,
Yeah.
like at all. There was also, I remember, something that Mercedes said in like a backstage promo where Willow had talked about her smile and how, which she mentions here in the contract signing, about how, part of her is that she smiles amidst all of the bad things that happen. And Mercedes had said, like I'm gonna wipe that smile off your face. I don't remember if I said this already. I feel like I said it. Um, but Willow then like going on to say this that she said about walking out of the match. I was just like, okay, Willow, go off. Holy shit.
Yeah. That's that,
like,
New
like,
Japan Strong Willow.
yeah. And at the end of this, we got to see Mercedes go through a table and
She's
do her
bumping.
like her absolute beautiful, just like goofy, holy shit, I'm about to fall into a table, like face acting that she did when Willow
Yup.
picked her up.
Yup.
And then she took the bump, and when I tell you, I was just, oh my god, we are so back.
We are
We
so back.
We are so back, guys. Mercedes just took a bump. That's big bump Mercedes in this bitch. Holy shit. I can't wait. I can't wait. Oh my god, I'm so excited. We
This
get
is
to
really
see
gonna be so
Mercedes.
much fun to see.
She's gonna take so many bumps and it's gonna be beautiful.
She's gonna sell them so well too.
She's gonna sell the shit out of these bumps, man. Oh, and it's and Willow is so good at like just ragdolling people, and Mercedes is like the perfect person to ragdoll.
I know.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm going crazy just thinking about it. Like holy, it's gonna be so good.
You're gonna love it.
I'm gonna love this match. This match is gonna be great. Um, this thing about the triple main event, I have to go back to it. I understand where they're coming from because this is Swerve's first pay per view as the champion. This is Mercedes' first match and this is the Elite in an Anarchy in the Arena match. And
I
it's
completely
literally the
understand
biggest
that.
story in the company right now.
Yeah.
So I
I
can
can
understand
yeah.
why they don't want to like put one above the other, and I'm sure they're still struggling. I'm certain that Tony is still trying to figure out who's going to main event. But I think it should be Anarchy in the Arena just based off story. But I really think that we should stick with it being the world title ending the show.
Yeah. What was it last year? I think Anarchy in the Arena finished last year, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The world title hasn't ended the show since Hangman
Yeah.
at Double or Nothing.
I remember that. Uh,
Yeah, and we both know that it wasn't because Hangman was the champion. It was because of his opponent.
yeah. Yeah. But yeah,
I'm rolling my eyes.
I understand why they would want to call it a triple main event because all three of those are very big storylines within the company. They're all within their own right. They're all very important to AEW, but someone has to go on last. That's the actual main event.
Yes.
So yeah.
So I do not envy the man making that decision.
No, because
I don't.
someone's going to be upset with one of your decisions. With either a decision,
Yes.
you're going to make somebody mad.
Yes. Um Speaking of people who would be mad at decisions. People who would probably want to go on last if they had the chance to book themselves. People who don't like to take pins. So Adam Copeland has been feuding with House of Black. House of Black. These folks right here. Um, he's been dealing with them for months now. He got sprayed with the black mist at Dynasty. Madge had to remind me of that while we were looking over the notes. And ever since, he's kind of been like going insanely hard in these collision matches that he's been doing. I don't know, but basically the House of Black has still been fucking with him. And so now he's finally gonna go after Malachi. I do believe he had a match already with Malachi on Collision. And like,
I think he did a one-on-one with Malachi before. But
yes,
this
and I
time,
probably watched it and I probably forgot about it immediately.
yeah, but what makes it special
Um,
this time is that it's in a cage, a barbed wire cage.
exactly.
And I've got to
Mm-hmm.
say, if I had a nickel for every time I saw an Adam Copeland match in a cage in Las Vegas live on pay-per-view, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
Yes, it is. You're just like 2 for 2 on these.
It was a
Wow.
cage match in Las Vegas, I don't know what to tell you.
Yes. So it is very cool that we are going to get to see Big Cope in a cage match. Um, all I can say is I hope Malachi brings it. I'm still waiting.
So am I.
I am I am still waiting. Um, Literally since August of 2021, I do not feel like I have cared for Malachi Black.
Me
And I was
neither.
there live in August of 2021 to see Malachi Black defeat Cody Rhodes. And I really, really liked him at that point, and I'm really upset at how much I've taken a nosedive when it comes to him. So please do something.
Just poking him with a
Do
stick.
something, Seth.
Come on, please. You called him Seth.
Take a bump. Yes, it was on purpose. Dolph Ziggler said that when he was feuding with Seth in like 2019.
Oh, okay. My fault. Didn't understand the reference.
Yeah, he when he was feuding with him, for some reason, that line, he kept repeating it. And it was so, like, life altering core memory now for me. Like, it was so funny. I don't know why it was so funny. So now when I say do something, I always go, do something, Seth. Do something.
That
So
is a little funny.
thank you. Thank you for that brain worm, Dolph Ziggler. I'm sorry, Nick Nemeth. Um,
I've done the same thing, it's okay.
yeah. Uh, but yeah, do something. Let me see something. Please. I want to enjoy this match. I don't want this to be my pee break. It's a cage match. For the love of God, don't let this be my pee break. I'm asking. I'm pleading. I'm begging. Please.
Yeah, I think it's
Side
probably
note to.
yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
Nah, go
I
ahead.
was gonna say, side note to what's been going on with Cope and House of Black. Uh, Kyle O'Reilly gunned for Cope's title by helping him against House of Black. And then immediately afterwards, he goes up to him and he's like, Cope says thank you, right, for helping me. And then Kyle O'Reilly's like, yeah, sure, no problem. Can I have a title match, please? and, and Big Cope is like, is that why you went to help me out? Oh, you sneaky motherfucker. I see. I see. Okay. All right. All right. And then they had the match, and obviously Kyle O'Reilly lost, but I love Kyle O'Reilly. I don't know what's going on with him exactly, but I love him so much.
Love you, Kyle.
We love you.
He's
He's
awesome.
hungry.
He is. He wants
He's
something.
hungry. And as the Tunnel Talk girls have said, he gives a very like I just came out of the wilderness and ate my friends kind of vibe to survive.
Yeah.
And me saying that he's hungry for a title just makes me go like he was hungry in the wilderness and ate his friends.
He was hungry for friendship. Now he's hungry for titles.
Why does that sound like the slogan for like a straight to TV like goofy like horror comedy?
I don't know. Probably just because we've probably heard something like that before.
Yeah. But yes. I don't have a segue for this next part.
No, this is
So
completely unrelated.
I'm just gonna say segue. Segue. So Tony uh is having a match. She's having a world title match. Yeah, she's having a world title match with Serena Deeb. Serena Deeb came up the ranks on Collision. Tony's been killing it on Dynamite. She's been having some stellar TV matches. Like whatever happened. Oh, we forgot to say this about Dynasty. That Thunder Rosa match with Tony was so good.
Oh, she had
It
never
was
been more
so
back.
good.
She had never been more back. That was
I was
very good.
literally like, "Oh my god, Tony Storm's fucking back." Holy shit. It was awesome.
Yeah,
It was so
never.
good.
I don't think she's had a match that good in AEW in a long time. She's been in AEW for a little while now, so I can't quite remember exactly all of her matches, but that was been the best match in a while. And honestly, I
Yeah.
think this next match with her versus Deeb is also going to be really good. Unfortunately, Serena Deeb is just extremely boring, so there's just nothing really there to play off of. Of course, Tony is great in the promos because she's Tony and she's doing a character and she's doing it really well and she's diving into the bit full force. But
Mhm.
Deeb is pretty much nothing but a wrestler. She's not really a character, and that's fine because who really likes her?
Um, yeah, that's in the notes that whatever's going on with Serena Deeb and her side of it, she's not really doing a very good job of being the baby face. Because Tony is supposed to still be the heel. Like she's still very much a villain here. But the problem is that the baby face that's playing off her is not doing a very good job. She brought up the fact that she came back from like a life-threatening or injury or something. I think she had a stroke, if I remember correctly, but I might be wrong. But it was bad. Whatever she came back from was very bad. And she tried to use it on the crowd, like say, like, I came back from a life-threatening injury and da 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 da. And the crowd did not give a fuck. And
Not
it's,
one.
you know, it would work better if we felt like we had some understanding of who she is as a person, but the thing is that we get nothing from her.
Oh, girl, give us
Like, go
nothing.
girl, give us nothing. Like, give us something. Do something, Seth. Like, what are you doing? Like, give me something to like about you. You can't just be good at wrestling. We've already talked about this.
We have. We have.
Even Will Osprey has a personality. He's a himbo.
He's old. No, I'm kidding.
He's a himbo. Okay? And it's like, just do something. Do something, please. Understand who you are. Go to a conference and figure out what your motives are. I don't know, something.
Carry Madame Zeroni
Please.
up a mountain. No, I'm kidding.
Or you and your family will be cursed for always and eternity.
Yeah, she's got to figure something out. Or don't. It doesn't matter to me.
Uh, Honestly, yeah. Um, yeah, I'm pretty happy with the people I do care about in the women's division at the moment. So, I mean, if you don't want to give me a personality, go ahead, don't give me a personality, but I don't want to see you on my TV.
Yeah.
I don't want to see you pushed.
I don't
I don't care for
you
you
don't need
enough
all
to see
this.
you pushed.
Don't need all this.
Exactly. So, yeah. Right now, I'm very, very, like, entertained with whatever the fuck Mariah May has going on with all these women.
I'm let me oh my God. We didn't get to talk about this, I don't think. No, no, no,
Please,
we did, but that was
go
the
ahead.
last episode.
Go
I'm
ahead.
loving the storylines of like genuine gayness. And it's not like it's a joke or it's not like it's a fake out or a one-time thing or anything like that. Like it's the storyline. It's like that's what we're doing and we're going full force on it. Like it's a love triangle essentially. And we're playing it like it's a love triangle and it's between three women and it's amazing.
Yeah, it's very good. I love what's going on here. Uh, the only thing that I would say is I need Mariah to do something.
Just move it along a
Like,
little bit.
just move it along a tad. I want to see the tension a bit more. I
Yeah.
want to see it come to fruition to something, build to something. And I think it is going to build to something because if I remember correctly, um there was a there was like a match where if Mariah won, she would have gone up against Tony in at this pay-per-view and she didn't get to because Deeb ended up winning. Oh, that's right. She threw in the towel. Tony threw in the towel for Mariah on TV because she was so overwhelmed and so scared for Mariah.
He was so worried about her. She's so
She was so
Tony is very New Japan Cody Rhodes coded.
Ooh, yes. Yes. Oh my god, it's perfect.
I just thought of yeah, 'cause, you don't remember this, but, Cody threw in the
Yeah.
towel for, um threw in the towel for one of Kenny Omega's matches, um, which then came back to bite him because he threw in the towel for one of Kenny Omega's matches, and that was when he hit the crossroads on Kenny. Um, and that's when they had the whole actual civil war. And then they came back to bite Cody with MJF in 2019 or early 2020. Late 2019, early 2020, they're indistinguishable. Um, and so this is and like Tony being such a like being so controlling over essentially someone who she sees as her minion, who probably would self-describe as a minion. It's so Cody Rhodes and Matt Jackson.
Is it? Has Matt Jackson ever been a minion? I don't believe that.
To Cody Rhodes, he was a minion. In Cody Rhodes' head, he had Matt Jackson as a
Okay.
minion because he was
Okay.
manipulating him.
In Cody's head. In
Yes,
Cody's head.
but we
Okay.
all
Yeah.
like essentially Mariah is like Matt, and Mariah's like Matt. Mina is pretty much like the actual like Kenny Omega, like actually has Matt in his like corner. Um, and Mariah is pretty much is I'm jumbling all of this up, but I think you can understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. I understand. I just I would like to see the okay, the fact that Tony's gotten more aggressive in her matches again, and now that she's actually like hooping, part of that makes me think that at some point we will get her snapping at Mariah in a way that Mariah's not gonna like. And I need that. I need it so bad because I want to see her like turn on Tony. I need to see it. I want to see something. Something along that line has to progress here. Because while I'm enjoying what's going on already so much, I feel like something needs to move forward a little bit. And I think that that would help, you know. Um but otherwise, I love lesbians.
I'm
I love
saying,
bisexuals.
love you
I
lesbians,
love
love
them
you
so much.
bisexuals, love you women, love
We love you
women.
so much. Willa was. Love you, Willa was. Um, why are you laughing?
That's funny. They're like spelling out the acronym.
I like to say Willa was. When I see WLW, I don't think to myself WLW. I go Willa was, and I know what Willa was means.
That's funny.
Women loving women.
Yes.
But I like to say Willa was.
Yes. And
That's
that's
how I say
very
it in my
funny.
head. Okay. All right. So, side note, since we brought up Thunder Rosa, Deanna and Thunder Rosa are feuding. They were friends for like all of 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And then now basically what this is, let me tell you what it is. It's literally, it's literally who can gesticulate the most. Because it's literally Italians versus Latinos. That's what this is.
Uh-oh.
This is Latino on Italian crime. Or Italian on Latino crime. Whichever one works for you. I don't care. Okay, I'm just saying they're on equal footing, you know. It's not just one committing acts. Okay? But that's literally what it is it not? Is anybody else getting anything else from this? That's literally what it feels like, is it not? Look, for the record, I'm Latina. I'm just gonna say that again because I feel like I don't say it enough. I'm literally Hispanic. I speak Spanish. I'm from Bolivia, okay? I'm not from Spain. I'm Latina. Okay, so I can say this.
That's your authority.
I just feel like it makes sense, okay? I'm right about this.
I'll trust you. I'll trust you.
Yeah. I mean, like, have you gotten anything else from this really? Like, is there anything like really of depth apart from the fact it's just some really, really passionate, heated bitches, like,
No.
fighting each other?
No.
No, exactly.
Honestly, yeah. That is pretty much it.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, um, it's not nearly as interesting as everything else that's going on, but I'm just happy that they have stuff going on. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Moving on. So there's a guy who's been missing from AEW television for quite a few weeks, and then he shows up. And when he shows up, he's got a world heavyweight championship on his goddamn shoulder. I'm talking about John Moxley, folks. Talking about
Moxie.
John Moxley.
Moxie.
Yes. He is the first person to win the big three promotions world titles. Um, yeah, he is a bad motherfucker,
Mhm. So
as we have known.
he has won the WWE World not World Heavyweight, the WWE Championship. He has won the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, and he has won the AEW Heavyweight Championship. So he is the only person to
Yes,
have won all 3 of these belts at the same not at the same time, but to in one career hold all 3.
yes, which is very cool.
That is amazing. That is but honestly, that's just the most John Moxley thing I think to ever happen is like, yeah, if anybody was going to win all 3, it was going to be him.
I mean, homie literally said, "Fuck the big three, it's just big me" when he did that. Obviously,
I'm saying, like,
I mean, Roman Reigns, bum. Seth Rollins, bum.
mm, Styles, bum. Omega, bum.
Yeah, exactly. See, I don't mind when we call other people bums, but you best not call Eddie Kingston a bum. I will beat your fucking ass.
Also, we should say Eddie Kingston was a part of Team AEW for the Anarchy in the Arena, but he has come down with injury, so he has been replaced.
By Darby Allen.
This is what
Which,
happens when
if
people don't follow their stupid white people dreams and climb Everest.
listen, listen. If you don't already know, to those listening, Darby Allen broke his foot in his last match before going to Mount Everest. This was against Jay White. And then, a few weeks later, as he's walking around on his crutches, I'm assuming, in New York City, this man's gets hit by a bus. They Regina Georged his ass. They Regina Georged him.
This would be a really good time for me to have that hat that you showed me earlier, because I really would like to say something mean.
Can I say something mean for a second? Go ahead, Madge. Go
I'm
ahead.
not gonna do that, actually. I just want to.
You're not? Okay. Well, you've decided not to, so I will hold you to that. So, yeah. So Darby Allen comes in with a broken foot still, and he's going to be on Team AEW. Um, personally, I'm going to be real honest. As I said earlier, Team AEW is not doing it for me, folks. Like, okay, is Darby Allen like indicative of that homegrown AEW 2019 feeling? Yes, for a lot of people. And I would say myself as well. But the thing is just he's not one of my Blorbos and I don't give a fuck.
Exactly. Like, is he one of the, like, original people who, like, stood up to the Young Bucks? Is he one of the 2019 originals? All this bullshit.
Yes, and
Does he fit the team? Yes. Do I want him on the
he
team?
has reason to
No.
hate the Bucks. They retired his partner. It's yes. He has perfect reason to be on this team, and as you said, it's not team AEW, it's not team homegrown. It's team we do not like the Bucks and we have reasons why.
Yeah,
So he
yeah.
fits.
He fits, she says with a
He
giant
fits.
sigh.
He fits. But we don't care. Um,
Imma tell you right now, we don't care.
yeah. Um, anyway, back to what we were talking about, which was Mox. Somehow we got on Eddie Kingston and the Darby Allin. Um, Mox is going to be fighting against Takeshita in a world title eliminator match. So if Takeshita wins, he gets a world title shot. I'm hoping that the world title shot does happen, that Takeshita does win, and then we get Takeshita versus Mox at Forbidden Door.
Same. I was just about to say that. That's exactly what I want.
Yeah, because I know that it's supposed to be NJPW versus AEW, but I think we can have some little leeway around here because um he's a Japanese wrestler. He comes from the Japanese wrestling scene. He's very well known in TJPW, DDT, all those different places, places that I don't know or watch. But I know that he comes from those places. Um, and as we know, the Forbidden Door means coming from different promotions.
Yes,
So I think that would be a good fit for him at Forbidden Door, personally.
I think so too. I think not only will not only does Takesha deserve a pay-per-view match, especially against somebody like John Moxley for a title shot, I think he deserves to have the title shot and have another pay-per-view match. And it would probably be I think it would either be like the opener or one of the main events. It would probably be semi-main event at Forbidden Door, which would be a huge spot for Takeshita to be in. I really just think he deserves to have that, and I think that's what we should do with this.
Yes. Do you think that the AEW World Title or the IWGP is going to main event Forbidden Door? Since we're on the subject,
I've got no idea. I think that depends on who is gonna be
opponent.
Swerve's opponent. Because if it's somebody like
So
if they do, like, Tanahashi or somebody like that again, or if they do, Gedo would probably book fucking Evil in that goddamn match because he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. I think Mo dep it really just depends on who they choose for Swerve's opponent, for who would main event. So, we'll just have to see.
Swerve has called out Shingo.
Oh, shit.
He has okay, I said called out. He has mentioned Shingo as somebody he would like to wrestle.
Okay, main event. Main event that immediately. I'd kill to see that.
Yeah, me personally, I would kill to see that. Just because I've seen Shingo lately. I saw like one match. But I've seen him before, like when I kind of watched a little bit of the G1s in the past, and um, he's just awesome, man.
Yeah.
And everybody's been talking great things about Shingo the past 6 months, and I feel like that would be really cool. I would love to see him main event. But it's also John Moxley holding the IWGP World Heavyweight title.
Yeah,
So
that's the one part of it that I'm like, that would probably main event, but then it might not, 'cause I don't know. I don't know.
yeah. Um, but yes, I think Takeshita should win this eliminator tournament, and I think it should be clean.
Me too.
But it probably won't be. It'll
I think it
probably
won't
be
be
some
clean.
callous fuckery.
Yeah. I don't think it'll be clean, mainly because it's Jon Moxley and, like, nobody beats Jon Moxley clean, and also because they have the Don Callis bullshit around him all the time. But a win is a win.
Yes, this is true. A W is a W.
Yep.
um, yep. Um, Speaking of W's, Will Ospreay won the gauntlet at Daly's place. What?
That's funny. The way you've been working on these segues, just drastically, like, different methods of trying to segue. It's entertaining, it's good, it's fun.
Look, look, we I want everyone to know that we did this outline within 30 minutes before the show because we had to redo everything because I realized that we took notes for the first 2 weeks after Dynasty
And then
and
we
then
didn't
we didn't
record.
take any more notes.
Yep.
We didn't record and we didn't take any more notes.
So we had to
So I had to like
Frankenstein all of this together.
yeah, so it's like I'm going off of my outline and I'm coming up with the things as I go, which is great. I love it a lot. Okay. I'm pretty proud of myself. I'm kind of good at this like improv thing, maybe.
You're doing pretty well, honestly, you're doing very well.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. So yeah, Osprey won the gauntlet at Daly's place. So now he has a match against Roddy Strong for the
International.
international championship. Um, so Roddy's side of this, from what I could gather, is that he's basically like, I'm better than you. You're just a young boy. You talk so much about how you've matured in the past couple of years, and I don't think you've matured one bit, actually. Um, and Osprey doesn't take kindly to that. The last promo that he cut, where Roddy said this to him, was really good from both of them. I think. I haven't really seen much of Roddy that I've enjoyed in the past couple of weeks, but I did appreciate that promo because it finally gave Roddy like an extra layer of like, this is why I don't like you. I think you're really immature. And yeah. Um so that's going to be a good match, I think, because once again, Roddy Strong is a very good wrestler.
He is.
And so is Will Ospreay.
They are.
So that's going to be a good match.
Yeah.
I don't really care about this one as much as the rest of them, but I still think it'll be very good.
Depending on what we get when we get inside the building, I honest to God might just go buy something. I might get food, I might get drinks, I might get merch. It all depends on how I
Yeah,
feel.
this will probably be your pee break. Yeah.
Oh, I don't pee in those arenas. I go before we go. I go before we go, I hold it, and then we leave, and I go in the hotel.
Fair enough. Um, but yeah, that's what we got so far with them. And then the last thing that we might want to talk about is we need to talk about Chris Jericho. So he has a new gimmick. Um, he is the learning tree now. It's basically a gimmick where he makes fun of himself and he's also spoofing off of CM Punk, which is really funny for me. Um, I think it's working. I unfortunately smile at least once every time he comes out and he does his shtick. Almost certain that Maj probably just skips whatever the fuck he's doing.
That's exactly what I was thinking. That's exactly what I'm doing. I mute it or I skip
Yeah,
it. If I'm watching live,
yeah,
mute. If I'm watching back, skip. I just oh my god. It's like you can't do satire if you yourself are still acting in the way of your satire. Like you can't parody something that you're serious about doing. and you are serious about doing all the things that we have problems with that you are parodying. So it's not really working for me.
That's fair, and I completely understand it. But I do have sort of I think the problem is that I pity Chris Jericho sometimes, and my pity makes it so that I give him leeway on certain things. So, like it's like I kind of want to see him succeed because I don't like when people tell other people to retire. I just don't. It hurts my soul. Like it doesn't matter how much I hate a person. Like even if it was CM Punk up there in a WWE arena, let's say, and he's cutting a promo, the apathy doesn't bother. I've heard is what happens when he's cutting promos. They're just apathetic. Like they have no idea what he's saying. Like he's trying to cut a few choice jabs here and there that's like kind of like only insider if you watch AEW or whatever. But for the most part they just don't get it and it's like crickets out there. If they started chanting please retire, I would feel bad. Even if it was CM Punk. So, unfortunately, I don't hate Chris Jericho nearly as much as I hate CM Punk. So, I feel bad. And I kind of want him to succeed. I
Has
hope it works
Kendrick
out.
taught you nothing in the way of being a hater?
No! I'm still nice at heart. I know I need to be in my hater era. I know. But I consider my hater era more of a let me see my favorite characters be haters.
That's fair.
It's what they deserve. But me, I don't have the heart for it. I really don't.
I was genetically predisposed to have the heart for it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Sorry.
That's all right. But yeah, that's
um,
what Chris Jericho is doing, and it's certainly happening. Oh, I
it
can't
looks
hear
like
you.
it's about.
Oh, there we go. You're back. Never mind. You're good.
Oh, interesting. I know what happened.
Hmm.
I clicked on the I clicked on the bar of the computer, the taskbar,
Mhm.
and it muted me because I'm
Oh.
outside of the program. Interesting.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, um so that's basically all we have right now. I'm gonna watch Collision later, I guess. And then figure out what else they've updated us on. Um, but that's it for the recap. Should we go and look at these last two questions that we had from friends?
Let's.
Okay. So Caitlin did ask us, who do you think will be a good first title feud for Swerve? Which I did answer at the beginning. She said Christian hasn't done anything in a month and AEW short on top heels. Yes, that is all true. And that was exactly my thinking when it came to Christian. So I'm glad that that is what it ended up being. Um, yes, really good.
I kind
Happy
of
about that.
answered that question myself as well. I had thought previously it was going to be Hangman who was going to be his first like official feud because they would just piggyback off of what had happened in the past. I was incorrect.
Mhm.
That's okay.
Yes. And then, so after that, we also had, I can't read the username because no, I can't read the handle because the username is so long. So I'm gonna read the username. The username is just another dude named Mike. He said, if you could replace your favorite character from another form of media with a wrestler, who would it be? Would you like to go first?
I can go first. I would replace John Moxley with my favorite character in all of anime, Uvogin from Hunter x Hunter. I think they're so alike. The only difference is John Moxley is white, bald, and only 6'4" instead of 8 feet tall. That's pretty much it. Otherwise, they're essentially the same type of character. And oh wait, sorry, Uvogen is 8'5". Yeah,
I
that
wouldn't
makes
have
me
been
wanna go
able to
watch
call
Hunter
you
x
out on
Hunter
that
again.
anyway.
I know, that's okay.
Yeah. This whole time I've been reading Hunter x Hunter whenever I see the name as Hunter Hunter.
No, that's the actual way you're supposed to pronounce it. I'm just a dumb American.
Okay.
I'm well aware I'm saying it
Okay.
wrong. It just feels incorrect to leave the X out.
Fair enough. See, in my head, I think about it like a pairing, like in on AO3 or something, like a tag for a pairing.
That's pretty much how
So,
it actually is supposed to be.
yeah. Um so for me I'm actually kind of confused for with the question because I don't know if that means would I change switch out my favorite wrestler into a different media with a my favorite character from that media or the character from the other media into wrestling.
I interpreted it as put a character from a different piece of media into wrestling, but I think you can go whichever way you wanna go with it.
Okay. Um I can answer both. Um I think so hold on, just give me 1 second. Let me read this question one more time and maybe
Mhm.
it'll help me
Okay.
completely understand here. You could replace your favorite character in the form media with a wrestler. Who would it be? Okay, see, okay. To me it sounds like I'm being given the option of putting a wrestler into a different media
Alright.
and replacing my favorite character in that media. So, okay, one of my favorite media is probably Red Dead Redemption 2. Arthur Morgan is my favorite character from there. Um, I would. It's funny. Okay, so I've said this before. I would probably replace like word for word. They're like the same person, except Arthur's probably a little bit more easy on the violence. Except actually, much like Hangman, he doesn't actually like violence, but he will perform violence if necessary. Um, so the easy answer would be replace Hangman and Arthur Morgan. Just like shoop, switch them out. But honestly, I'm probably gonna go with the same thing that you're saying. I would probably switch Arthur Morgan with Mox. I would put Mox in Red Dead Redemption.
Oh, I like that.
Just
I like
because
that.
I would like to see the way that he handles Dutch. And the reason I say that is because Dutch reminds me a lot of William Regal. And I feel like that would be an interesting dynamic, especially because not only would he have a Dutch William Regal thing going on, but he would also have Hosea. And Hosea, I don't know if you know this, is like the other father figure to Arthur Morgan. Except he's much kinder and he respects Arthur as a person. He wants him to succeed. He wants him to do better. He wants him out of the life, more importantly. More importantly, he wants him out of the life. And it would be really interesting for somebody like John Moxley to be put into that life because I like to think that actually John would enjoy that life. And it would be weird for him not to want to get out of it, you know? But then he'd also, once again, he would have this like wonderful, wonderful father figure in Hosea, along with like the battling dynamic between Hosea and Dutch. And I just, it would be so interesting to me. I think that would be really cool. Um, and I just think he'd love to go shoot him up, you know, do some little bank robberies and shit. I'd love to see Mox do that shit.
I
I think that would
agree.
be fun. Yeah. Yeah, so there's my answer.
Nice. All right.
Um,
I think we covered everything then.
yeah, yes, we did. Uh, we're gonna have lots of fun, aren't we?
We're gonna have so much fucking fun.
Um, we probably need to talk about our day by day what we're doing because I did promise my mom that we would have that done
Okay, no problem.
before we go. So after we get off the call.
Yes.
Okay. Um, do you want to read us out?
I will. I will read us out. All right. We hope that you enjoyed this latest episode of your Emotional Support Wrestling podcast. You can find us on Twitter at ES Wrestling Pod, on Blue Sky at ES Wrestling Pod, on Tumblr at Emotional Support Wrestling, and we absolutely beg of you, please send us an email at eswrestlingpod@gmail.com. And we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye bye.